Hello, parents and guardians. This is Mr. Castro here, and I am going to talk to you today about ways to access online tools that we use for my.hrw.com, as well as some of the tools that you'll find inside the my.hrw.com that you can use to benefit your student, son or daughter. Or if you are a little bit confused on the math, then maybe you can go through these lessons with your son or daughter to help them improve their skills, as well as yourself to um, maybe remember some of the skills that you might have forgotten. So let's first look at the Google Classroom. So when you go into a Google Classroom, okay, and I just have my sixth grade up here, okay, they need to be logged in under their jcpsnj.org account in order to access the Google Classroom. But all of my students do have access and they do use this, okay? And you're going to see a link down here, okay? And this link, which I will also put in the comments of the YouTube section so that you can click on it, okay? When you click on this link, okay, I already have it up, the Holt McDougall online site will come up. Now yours is going to look a little bit different than mine, okay? Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see. Yours is going to look something like this with these yellow boxes. Okay. Now, this student book is if your son or daughter or nephew or niece forgot their book at their locker or in their bag or lost their book, they have access to their student book right here. If I click on this, you will see a pop-up comes up. Okay. And you can see that the student book comes up, and you can see right now that we're looking at module 13 lesson 13.2 areas of triangles. You can make the uh, screen bigger or smaller depending on what you want to do. If you want to take some notes, you can add a note. Okay, you can write a note. This is okay. This This is about area of triangles, okay? And this is all saved under your account. And then you can look at your notes here on the left-hand side, okay? So that is the student book. The student book is pretty self-explanatory, okay? Now, the one I want to spend a little bit of time on is the student resources, okay? So I'm going to click on student resources. And when student resources comes up, you're going to see units on the side, okay? Now, the way the book works is it's broken up into units, modules, and then lessons, okay? So I'm going to look at Module 1, Lesson 1.1, okay? And we're going to look at this, what's available. So we have a real world video module. I like to show this before we start, which connects some real world applications to the math that we're about to use. Okay. Again, we have the student edition. You're going to see the student edition multiple times throughout the uh, throughout the website. Okay. You also have a Spanish student edition. So if for all of my ESL students, I know that there might not be just Spanish, but if you are a Spanish speaker, you have the Spanish student edition, and everything is written in Spanish along with the vocabulary. Okay. But the thing I want to focus on is here, the Math on the Spot video lesson 1.1. So this video
Let's see
with
if we can.
Professor Edward Berger is throughout this website. He goes through breaking down the lesson.
Identify
Okay,
for a particular number, it's on the other side. And so what I
and he
see
talks
here
about
is
the
it'd be right
example.
here.
Okay. So right now he's talking about the opposite of positive 2. So you can see that it breaks down this example That's similar to the example in in the student book. Okay. Now these items here, practice and problem solving AB, is actually the same for their homework book. So if they forget their homework book, you'll have access to their homework. Again, this is under student resources. You will have to know which module and lesson that they're in, but for the most part, they should be able to tell you, and then they can click on this problem solving AB. Now, if your son or daughter is not as strong, they can click on this lesson 1.1 reteach. And this worksheet that they can look at reteaches the lesson. Okay. So if I had to put questions in tiers of 1 through 4, these questions are about a level 1 or 2. Okay. Homework is usually about a 2 or 3. And if you think that your son or daughter needs a little bit more help or is an advanced learner, then you can click on practice and problem solving C. Okay. And these are more of a level 3 to level 4 questions. Okay. Now, if you want to print them out, you can print them out. I would recommend just, taking their math notebook and just doing these problems in there, labeling it on the top. Save some paper as, you know, uh, you already have plenty of paper as it is. Okay. Now, one thing about the Holt McDougall website is, or the Holt McDougall um, curriculum is after you finish lesson 1, 2, and 3 for module 1, then you're probably going to be taking a quiz. So after module 1, module 2, and module 3 quizzes, then you're going to be ready for the unit 1 test, which is going to encompass all 3 of these skills. Okay? So you're going to have, say, for Unit 1 test, you're going to have to practice integers, factors and multiples, and rational numbers. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this interactive student edition. Now, this is both for the student as well as you as a parent. So a lot of parents come to me and say, well, uh, I forgot how to do that. Is there something that I can maybe go with or go over with my student to help them help me? So let's look at one that a lot of parents have a problem with or a lot of students have a problem with, which is ratios and rates, proportions. So let's look at module 8 percents, and let's look at percents, fractions, and decimals. So when you click on this, a pop-up is going to come up, and this is an interactive student lesson. So you can see that there's an essential question, and this is the question that's always asked at the beginning of a lesson that I always bring up to them. And we hope that at the end of this lesson, they'll be able to answer that question. Okay? And there's a video, you can play the video. And these lessons are broken up into 5 parts. The first part is the engage, and the engage is just a way to draw them in. Okay? The
Let's look
next
at
is
equivalent
the
decimal.
explore part, okay? This is where you explore the activity, okay? The next,
Using you can use
after
write the
explore,
percentage as.
is the explain part, okay?
Now let's
And
practice
then
with the personal math.
the elaborate. Now, this is the personal math trainer. When you click on this little whistle, something's going to pop up, and there's practice problems, okay? So this is what's great about the interactive student lesson. And these examples are exactly from the lesson, okay? It even shows step by step. You can go to the textbook, okay? And it shows you, breaks it down for you. So this is the biggest part that I like about the HMH tool, is this personal math trainer. And then the last thing
Now try
is
your
the
homework on your
evaluate.
own.
And then again, this is more going back to practice everything that you went over in the lesson. Okay, so that's the basics of my.hrw. There's other things that you can use, but this video was specifically on the my.hrw.com. So if there's any questions, you can shoot me an email. My email is attached on the bottom, or just play around with it. Have your son or daughter tell you or how to use this tool, because most students are pretty familiar with technology. So have them go through what's available uh, on this website. So again, I hope that this little tutorial helped you in better gaining access to the online tool my.hrw.com. Thank you so much, and Mr. Castro signing off.